Okay, so as you can see, I have my Star Wars t-shirt on today because I was feeling very Star Wars-y as I'm driving on a nice 80-something degree winter day in Dallas. And, you know, I like to peruse the videos that are out there, trying to see what a lot of people's Star Wars theories are, especially with having seen Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and can't wait for Episode 8, The Last Jedi, to come out. But I heard something very disturbing by someone who didn't look like they were old enough to know about how the expanded universe novels, which Disney has denounced as canon, actually worked. First of all, those were not fan fiction at all. They were expanded because it continued the arc of the relationship between Han Solo and Princess Leia, who actually got married and had twins, Jason and Jaina Solo, and a third child named Anakin. This was a very powerful family dynamic as well as story dynamic because a lot of stuff happens with the twins from the time that they are toddlers all the way up to when they are adults. Now, if you haven't read those, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I am not going to tell you what ultimately happens with those children. And if you have read the Expanded Universe novels since Heir to the Empire, which came out in 1991, you would see how the story actually unfolds. We who have been reading the Star Wars novels since the 1970s were kind of disappointed that Disney decided to denounce those stories as non-canon, because everything from Luke training new Jedi to Jedi turning to the dark side to one of Luke's apprentices freezing him in some kind of dark side stuff to where the baby twins had to use the Force to free him. And what's interesting is that Star Wars Rebels, which is a show that I watch religiously, is starting to sneak in elements of the so-called non-canon things into Star Wars Rebels. Most notably Admiral Thrawn, who has novels. He is one of the main characters that was introduced during the Heir to the Empire and that arc, those three novels that came out back in the 90s when my children were newly born. So Admiral Thrawn is a very powerful, formidable enemy to be reckoned with. He's not someone you want to mess with. He may be cool and calculated, but that dude is bad. Read Spectre of the Past, Visions of the Future, of course, Heir to the Empire, The Last Command, and I forget the one in the middle, where Luke thinks he's training with a Jedi, but he's really crazy and, you know, discovers animals that repel the Force. Anyway, and then Dathomir and the Night Sisters, the dark side Night Sisters, those were also introduced and expanded upon to some degree during the New Jedi Order book series with the baddest alien species to hit Star Wars, known as the Yuuzhan Vong. They are some bad organic using motherfuckers, because those fellas use natural living things as weapons that cannot be detected by the Force. That is not fan fiction. That is formidable science fiction authors who have their own independent series. Before you speak about the Expanded Universe novels, do your research. Not fan fiction. Were written by reputable authors who took the time to expand storylines as time went on. We see the twins grow up. We see things happen. We see Luke get married. He has his own child. We see Leia trying to use more of the Force. We see things happening with the New Republic, what happened with the New Republic, so something in between Return of the Jedi. Something, because if you think that the Expanded Universe novels were fan fiction, then you didn't read them and you did not see how they all connect. Especially Shadow of the Empire, man. If they make Shadow of the Empire a Star Wars story, woo, that's going to be on point. But I digress. And I'm going to stop here. But I just had to say something because, hey, they were a distraction for me when I became a new father. And as my children grew up, so did the Star Wars Expanded Universe novels grow up. Trust me, you want to read them and see how the stories connect all the way through the fate of the Jedi. So we're talking about storylines that have expanded over the last 23, 25, 26 years. Read it and then speak on it. Because I bet if you really read them, you'd have a different view and knowledge of that which you speak. Hope you liked the video. Everybody, may the force be with you. Have a good day.